Welcome to Drop the Clutch podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of Drop the Clutch. This is our review episode for the first GP of the season. I'm joined by Frankie, as usual. Hey, Frankie, you all right?
Hello, I'm good. For being woken up by heavy thunder. But...
Oh, yes, we got a warning here, but we've had no rain or anything, so the yellow warning sort of seemed pointless.
For us, it sounded like fucking bombs going off, so...
Oh, exciting.
Not at 5:30 in the morning, it isn't.
No, I can imagine. Although people think I'm weird because I like the sound of thunder.
Thunder is nice, lightning is nice, both are nice. At early hours of the morning, they can fuck off.
Yeah.
Anyway, we have review of Grand Prix and opening meeting at Birmingham for Eurosport.
Wow.
For Eurosport. Start with the Grand Prix. We go in chronological order. I think it was probably for Goroshan. It was a better advert for the sport than you probably would have thought on paper.
Yeah.
I think I referred to this in previous meetings. Goroshan is a dust bowl. It wasn't that bad this year. It was actually racing on it. The track was actually prepared well, even if it did rut up a little bit. Jason Doyle on a Brucking Bonko. I'm trying to make sure I've got that the right way around. I think I did.
Yeah.
And of course, Lebedev's just overriding the bike in his second ride as well, but that's by the by. Not that much drama. Fairly smooth flowing meeting for an opening round for the GPs. It was actually fairly decent.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Well, I said I was sort of watching it and not watching it.
Yep.
At the same time. Yeah. Not exactly the best thing.
Yeah, I think it's big congratulations to Jack Holder and the Holder brothers being the first brothers to win Grand Prix rounds between them. That statistic surprises me, though. I'm very surprised that the Dremel brothers never won Grand Prix. Even the Carlson brothers, although it may have been a bit before their time. I'm actually quite surprised it's taken them this long when you think about the other brothers that we've had in the Grand Prix series in years past.
Yeah.
I remember the Dremel brothers, in fact. But yeah, I'm surprised at that, but congratulations to him. First Grand Prix win as well. It was overdue when he was leading Warsaw, I think it was last year. It got called back in controversial circumstances, if anyone remembers that one. He probably should have won that round last year, but he didn't in the end. But yeah, congratulations to him. The track was, it was certainly better than what you'd expect. I think Gate 4, complete graveyard until the semi-finals.
Yeah.
My opinion on that is that it is probably a bit cynical, maybe, but I reckon that the track staff just forgot to drag the dirt in on Gate 4 until the semi-finals.
Oh shit, we might have to move this dirt inwards.
Quite literally. After which point, Gate 4 just it just gets bogged down. It's always difficult coming from Gate 4 on a track like Goroshan anyway. Although heavily banked, it's a long way to the first turn. Especially when it's either all about gating or all about running it around the curb in the early heats. You're going to struggle from that.
Yeah.
But on a surface like that, Gate 4 would develop, and it didn't this time around until the semi-finals when suddenly it comes to life.
Well, yeah, because there was no grip on the outside, was there?
No, which makes me think that it was an issue with track work during the meeting, but on the whole, that's not that bad.
No, true.
Shame it didn't win a heat all night, I don't think, but it provided some interesting thing when you get riders like Robert Lambert, like Jack Holder, Smarjlek running away with the meeting to suddenly end up with a major graveyard, it does make heats very interesting.
Mm.
But it's not exactly a fair competition for other riders struggling at the bottom of the pile.
True.
Move on.
Hülkenberg surprised me.
In what way?
Well, where he finished. Wasn't it P6 in the end?
Something like that. I can't remember. I did bring up a few documents. The table wasn't one of them, because why would it be?
Oh yeah, to all the people that said Smarjlek was gonna go and win every round this season. You're wrong.
No.
You're wrong.
Hülkenberg 6th, yeah.
He surprised me.
Yeah, to an extent as well. Kubica and Wozniak weren't out of the picture either.
No, it was just the other two.
Mm.
Lebedev has been a reserve and stood in for other riders and done awful. So why was he given a wild card? Because he's shown that he's not fit to be a GP rider, but he's been given a permanent wild card anyway.
It's a question for the promoters that I asked when they announced the picks. He hasn't made, I think he's made like one semi-final in the last 2 seasons when he's been first substitute.
Yeah.
I don't think really he's GP quality. But that said, you could say the same for a lot of riders in the bottom end. Kvyat and Kubica. Kubica I don't think is quite there. I said he was out of his depth. And I still think he is to an extent. Kvyat came through on the challenge, but still also out of his depth.
It's also the first meeting as well, isn't it? So
yeah, it's hard to judge based on these results alone. We'd have to look at Warsaw. Warsaw is a bigger challenge for some of these riders as well.
Yeah,
it's a temporary surface. It'll be tighter, although I think it's slightly bigger than Cardiff. There will be some banking on it, some grip, but generally the first half is gate and go. The second half is that there is some passing on it.
Yeah.
Which would make it very interesting for some of these riders as well. But also what I've said before, for someone like Hülkenberg or Mikkelsen, consistency as well. See whether they can build Hülkenberg in particular on these results from Goroshan going into Warsaw, and see if they can maintain these results round on round, facing different tracks as they go.
Yeah.
It's like we've got, it's Warsaw next after that is Landshut. Warsaw is a tight temporary surface. Landshut is a big flat track, basically. So you're going from basically one extreme to the other. It will be interesting to see which one of these newer riders can build on these results and actually get themselves in a decent position ahead of the World Cup break. Really.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But like I say, it's hard to judge any individual rider on these performances because it is so early in the season. Some of these newer riders, like Wozniak, I think showed strongly in some heats. I think Wozniak was penalised quite heavily by having two gate fours.
Yeah.
You compare though the results of like Mikkelsen, Wozniak, Kubica with Woffinden and Bewley. You start to realize where the strength is in this Grand Prix series.
Yeah.
Like Bewley, okay, he had a heavy off in his second ride. I don't think he was particularly badly injured, but he probably was very heavily bruised afterwards. But beyond that, he didn't show, and he wasn't particularly good away at Birmingham on Monday either.
No.
He got 7+1. So it was a solid score for a heat leader, but you'd expect better from a rider like Dan Bewley.
Yeah. You would.
Woffinden, I think they said in the Eurosport commentary that he admits that he hasn't gotten over a shoulder injury he suffered in 2011.
Yeah. 11? That's 13 years ago.
Yep. That's how long ago it was. I'm not sure about that. I believe him. I'd certainly believe him, but how come that's only come up now?
Mm.
Like, if he'd have said that, if he'd have said it was like his broken collarbone in 2013, his broken hand in 2014, or his his broken back in 2019, I would have believed it.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about the shoulder though. I
No.
like it would affect his handling on the bike, but surely if that's affecting him now, he must have done something else to tweak that. If it wasn't before,
Yeah.
because he was saying 2011, bear in mind he's won 3 world titles since then.
True.
Um, but I think both Woofenden and Bewley will be disappointed by these results very, very heavily. Bewley, I think, is in. While I think he will admit that the fall hampered him, I don't think he'll write it off as saying everything was the fall.
Yeah.
But I think Woofenden he got a heat win, but he beat one rider all night.
True. It's not
So
really, especially by their standards.
yeah, it's when I say he beat one rider, I mean he beat one rider on the track. The other two were thrown out. I don't think he will like those results, and I think he's been pegging good scores in the UK, if I
Yeah.
recall correctly. So he will want to improve on that for Warsaw, definitely. And Warsaw, he's won at Warsaw before,
Yeah.
so
True.
he can do it. It's just the mindset, the body, the setup. Is it all there for him at the moment?
Mm.
Which I think is a debate he'll be having with himself.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh wow.
I think Lambert will be disappointed he missed out on the final.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the gate order was. The pick order was for the semi-finals in first semi-final 2.
Yeah.
But if he had first pick and chose gate 1 over Smarslick, that was a mistake.
Yeah. I can't remember if he had first pick.
I'm trying to run count back in my head. Fuck, that goes to who beat who. Shit. What heat was it? Smarslick and Lambert met.
I don't know. Let me look.
I'm used to getting a program to do this for me. Okay.
Speedway updates. FIMSGP.
Where is it? Where is it? Heat 10.
Yeah.
Smarslick beat Lambert. So yeah, I was wrong. He did get a second pick. Then it begs the question whether he should have picked 1 or 3.
And he probably only beat Lambert because Lambert was on the outside gate.
No, Lambert was on gate 1.
In Heat 10 he wasn't.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yellow.
Oh yeah, sorry. Fair. I thought you talked about semis. Anyway, but so Smarslick would have had the better gate pick over Lambert in semi 2.
Yeah.
So Smarslick obviously went for gate 2. As you know, it's obvious. There are 2 semi-optimum gates there that Lambert could have picked, 1 or 3.
Yeah.
I think him picking 1 was a mistake, but it's not a major one.
No.
Because with Lambert picking 1 meant that he was on a better gate than gate 3 based on the raw stats. But it gives Smarslick the opportunity, if he gets out the start well, to clamp him on the line and kill his race there.
Yeah.
Which is more or less what happened.
Mm.
One could argue if he'd gone for gate 3, he may have made the final, even though statistically it was a worse gate.
Yeah.
But up against as well Madsen and Lindgren, it's hard to predict anything.
True.
Certainly with the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, there is that. It also comes down to just who wants it more as well, I think.
If you ask any rider on the night, they'll say they want it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the roundup of Goroshan. No major controversies, really. There's nothing there to speak of, particularly. It was a fairly well-run affair. Standard FIM, what you expect from them nowadays.
Yeah.
We've got Warsaw coming up now. We'll see the first introduction of the sprint race, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
It's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah.
We'll see how well that goes. But
yeah,
I think on these results alone, it's hard to predict anything. I still think my prediction about Smarzlik will come true at some point in the season. I'm not saying when because I'm not predicting that accurately.
No.
Holder, Lambert, they'll be happy with those results. Doyle as well, he'll be happy with it, even though his bike rode up on him and he got thrown out in his second ride.
Yeah.
To be fair, though, he was on gate 4 at that point. He probably couldn't have expected anything better. But yeah, riders like Hülkenberg will be happy as well. There's it's showing clearly who is and who isn't. Well, who are the strong riders in the season?
True.
But predicting anything now would be at best reckless.
Yeah, let's not do that.
No. But that's the Grand Prix up and away. Like we say, we've got a week from now, we'll have Warsaw. We will get a bigger picture, a better understanding of which riders are where versus each other. I can't remember. Has Smarzlik won at Warsaw yet? I don't think he has.
No.
I think it's the one venue he hasn't conquered yet.
Hopefully he doesn't.
I'm saying nothing. Yeah, it's the one venue he hasn't conquered. He'll be under a lot of pressure to try and win there again. Win there this year because he still hasn't done it. He's won other Polish circuits in the past, just not this one. Jack Holder said previously he's led a final at Warsaw, so he can on his day do it as well. So if he carries on this form, he could be a threat.
True.
For that Grand Prix. If he does or not, that remains to be seen.
Yeah.
And then, of course, your usual contenders, Lindgren, Doyle. It'll be interesting to see where they stand after Warsaw, but we'll discuss that once Warsaw happens.
Yeah.
You got anything to say?
No, not really, because I didn't really watch it. I was sort of doing two things at once. So I was trying to pay attention to both, but with the fact that I've got ADHD, I was completely focused on another thing. So, I wasn't really watching, but I will make a point of watching.
Fair enough. In that case, then, it's not the only one that got underway since our last episode. The British League has started under Eurosport.
The season's been going since the end of March, and yet they only put a fixture on what, the 29th of April? Yep. Ridiculous.
Well, it's later than it's later than Sky used to when they were broadcasting, but it was about right for BT. So on that point, I'm not complaining. This isn't like, what was it, 2 years ago when they didn't start their British coverage until June with the British final.
Yeah.
That was appalling in my opinion. But the timing of it is not ridiculous. I do think though that there wasn't a lot said in pre-meeting build-up about what's happened in the league up to that point. There was very little made of past meetings, past results, and where the table really stands. which means that particularly for a newbie, getting a picture of who's where on the table is actually now really difficult, and it's not helped by, even though they simplified the table point structure, adding this superheat crap, which actually makes it more complicated than the old system was.
Yeah.
Still annoyed by that. Anyway,
I'm still not over the fact that the new averages have come in and Millet's gone from number 1 to number 6 in 3-4 days.
Well, that's the issue with an assessed average, really. This year they've kind of prescribed it more than what they have done in previous seasons. Previous seasons in the Premiership, it was based on a grading list, which is their fancy way of saying throw a random number generator at it.
Yeah.
Now it says if you're in this league, you get this average. If you're a GP rider, you get this average. Or if you're in that league, you get that average, etc., etc. Because both Milik and Pawlicki compete in Polish Extraliga, if I recall, they both get 7.5.
Milik's in the second division.
Something like that. I can't remember. I don't remember the table because I haven't looked at it long enough yet.
I don't know I don't know which league Krosno are in. So.
Oh no, they are Krosno. They are top division, aren't they? Or they relegated this year?
Well, I know he's at Krosno, so yeah, 2 Extraliga. So in the second league.
Okay, well then I don't know. Either way,
I had to look, to be fair.
Either way, he met the criteria for a 7.5. He was given a 7.5.
Yeah.
It's the problem with assessed averages is that because how the mere fact you have a place in that league, especially in the Polish leagues, doesn't mean you race at that standard.
True.
Which is why he's gone from a 7.5 to a 4.3 in one calculation, basically. But that's much ado about team building. Like I said, I think Birmingham made a mistake in having their top 2 riders have assessed averages, because that was always going to come back to haunt them, really. Because it only takes one of those riders not performing, suddenly you've lost a major chunk of your points budget on one rider who isn't performing as high as an assessed average should suggest he would.
Yeah, they can't stick with that team all season. I hope.
I mean, if they do, they'll crash and burn. So we can find out.
Well,
maybe not as bad as Kings Lynn are at the moment, but
no, but they do need to think about it. Yeah, this is not me being a promoter for all the keyboard warriors. I know how hard it is, but for God's sake, you build a team, you think it's going to do well, and then it doesn't do well. You've got to be thinking about team changes.
Yeah. It doesn't help that the transfer window now is really complicated, but never mind.
People say to me all the time, because yes, I will have a bitch. I am known to have a bitch, but I have been watching Speedway for a long time. I've been watching Speedway for 2/3 of my life. I was excited when I heard the news that Birmingham were going to join the Premiership, but looking at the team they put together, most of them good, but the top 2, it was just so underwhelming.
I'm just letting you finish now.
The other teams, and it's like, oh yeah, Ipswich, you got Jason Doyle and Emil Satfordinoff, and then you look at Birmingham in comparison, and you go, really?
I mean, you could have signed Artur Smarslik back.
I don't think he'd come back. They were joking about that over the winter, but
no chance.
Somebody said to me the other day online, has anybody got Robert Lambert's number? But he's already said no. Which is a bit rude, but, can't do much about it, can you?
Is that your rant over?
Yeah.
Right. Opening meeting at Eurosport. I think, as I said, I think the pre-meeting could have done better at sort of like explaining the state of the league as it is.
And why there's only 7 teams.
I mean, it's better now than it was. Like 7, 8 teams is about what you want for a top division in Speedway. It's what Poland has. So, she's disappeared.
I was putting the light on.
I did that before we started. It's about.
Well, the sun was on my side when I sat down. It's now not.
Yeah. It's they could have done more with the pre-meeting. I did like the build-up, what they did with it. I can't remember what it was they did. They explained sort of like who was in what team, which teams were in the Premiership, and they broke down sort of the riders. But there wasn't much given about like the results or how each team were performing in. So like just sample meetings from like March, like middle of March, the end of April, and say this team got that many points. This is how this was how the meeting went. That kind of thing. There wasn't much of that. Which, like I said, for someone new coming into sport, you're basically starting mid-season with the coverage.
Yeah.
Could have been a little bit better.
Little bit.
But then for the hardcore, they would have, bought club streams. They would have attended meetings. They would have bought streams on BSN. They'd know about it. So then you're asking the question, well, who's your target audience?
True.
But that's Eurosport's coverage in general. The meeting itself for an opener wasn't bad.
No, it was pretty good, to be fair.
Yeah, Perry Barr raced fairly well.
Which I think came as to you.
I was going to say it came as a surprise to you, but
it did a little bit. They put some dirt down on the outside, and there was a bit more water in it by the look of it this week. So,
bearing in mind, I've been to Perry Barr exactly once, and that was 12 years ago.
Yeah, the track's a bit different now.
Yeah,
been relayed a couple of times since then.
But yeah, the track for opening meeting at Eurosport, they couldn't have done. But they could have done a better job, but they could have done far worse. Like Ipswich.
I mean, it could have been like it was for the few opening league meetings where it was packed down so hard to take some rain that it was just gate and go, and it was a dust bowl after heat 2. So,
well, that's the problem with running British Speedway so early. Like, you're always anticipating rain that you prepare the track for a deluge it's not going to get, and then it races like shit. You just end up with a blue groove on the inside. But we didn't get that at Bellevue. They actually laid dirt on it. They prepared the track well, and it raced well. Early controversy, though, I think, was in Heat 5.
Oh.
There wasn't much said about this on the TV coverage or anything, but I pointed this out in our WhatsApp chat.
Yes, you did.
But for the movement of the tapes by the wind, Bladorn would have gone straight through them.
Yeah. They are a bit slack.
In my opinion, that's way too much slack. Like, tapes don't catch the wind particularly well. There's no need for them to stretch out. They stretched out a good 3 or 4 inches from the start.
You said it. I didn't. You said it.
There's no need for them to be that slack. But that is my opinion, is that if they hadn't stretched out that far, Bladorn would have hit the tapes. The counter argument there would have been if they weren't moving because of the wind, Lampard wouldn't have jumped, which wouldn't have pulled Bladorn in.
True.
Either way, I mean, the meeting goes on. It's just Birmingham need to sort the tapes out.
Again, you said it.
I'm just saying. I'm saying it as I call it.
One of my pop figures just fell off my monitor. Another bit for the floor of the editing room.
Including my yawn just there. I'm going on the cutting room floor. You're doing the edit, so.
Yep. My bobblehead fell off. Rude. But yeah. Put them over there. No.
But yeah, Heat 15 then provides the big drama.
Oh, big drama.
Now, I've been critical of Pavlichki in the past for riding into the side of riders and for dropping the bike too early or too easily when a rider dives up the inside of them. But Kurtz did take the leg. He did take the front wheel, and he hadn't cleanly passed Pavlichki going into the corner.
No.
It's not a case of really Pavlichki coming back and riding into the back of Kurtz. It is literally Kurtz has come up the inside of him, taken the leg, and Pavlichki's gone down.
Yeah, that's going to be a controversial one.
Nick will hate me for saying it. But that's my opinion. He has. I called it live at the worst possible camera angle as well. Kurtz had gone.
Get a petition out for Frankie to be a referee.
No. I mean,
no, you might actually do a decent job though.
If you want, I mean, I probably could. Yeah. I'd probably ruffle a few feathers, but I could do it. Anyway.
Yes, but you'd be fair though. This is the thing.
Nah, true. But yeah, so Kurtz up the inside, takes the leg of Pavlichki, race stopped, drama, etc., etc.
Yes.
To be fair to the referee, though, he did take his time viewing the replays. I always find there's a crossover point where you think you have your decision in your head, and the likelihood of a referee agreeing with your decision goes down the more that they view a replay.
Yeah.
That's a general rule I've found. The more replays a referee studies, the less sure they are, the more likely they are to fall back to the easy option, which is to throw out the rider who fell.
Yeah.
But I think the referee got that one right. As I say, Nick will hate me for saying it, but I think the referee got that one right. The bigger controversy, in my opinion, was a decision to rerun the heat.
Yeah.
The incident occurred in lap 3, and the rules specify that you can award a heat after the leading rider has crossed into the third lap.
Yeah.
So the referee would have been in his power to award the heat, but he didn't.
Yeah.
And Birmingham were on a 5-1 at the time of the stoppage.
And then managed to get another one after.
Well, yeah, well, that's a moot point. That actually falls under Bewley's fault later on. But
yeah,
I don't think anything was made of this decision.
No.
But the referee was correct to rerun that heat. I don't think that race was over. I don't think for 1 minute that heat was definitely going to finish red, blue, yellow, white.
Well, it wasn't even on the last lap anyway, and it gets awarded when it's on the last lap. So yeah.
No, British League you could award at lap 3.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's been a bone of contention for me because you see a rider chuck it in the second turn in lap 2. Referee waits ages to put the red lights on and then awards the heat because the leading rider crossed the finish line for entering to lap 3. I don't like it, but they can do it.
No. Oh.
But yeah. What you've seen.
After getting off to the worst possible start by conceding a 4-2 and 5-1, Birmingham have come back into their meeting at Kings Lynn with 2 consecutive 5-1s in Heat 3 and Heat 4. Interesting. Oh, look at that. Palicki and Milik, both 0. Oh, bloody right.
On the cutting room floor. I mean, to be fair, you're editing this. So. But yeah, very little, I think, was made of this, certainly in the circles that I'm in. But
Yeah.
I think it was more controversial, certainly more brave than the decision to exclude Kurtz.
Mm.
Because to award that heat could have just given Birmingham the win straight up. Other referees probably would have awarded that heat.
Yeah.
Um,
Who was the referee? Hang on.
Wayne Jarvis. It's a fairly
Oh,
new. He's a fairly new face, if I remember correctly.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
Sure.
I think he got that one right as well.
Hmm. Fair enough. I
But
can't see any
then,
comments on the updates page, otherwise I'd read some out. But
yeah,
I
I think they
I
deleted them fairly quickly afterwards.
can go and I'm gonna go and find Facebook. Let's go down the Facebook wormhole, or shall we not?
Let's not. Facebook is a shithole.
I'm not commenting on that. Mm-hmm.
That's because you're on it.
Yeah,
Um,
I've always been on it.
so I can get away with saying these things because I told Facebook to fuck off.
Yeah.
But yeah, beside that, there's nothing really in that meeting. It was it was about as you would expect for a British league, maybe slightly better track, slightly better racing, Birmingham actually winning,
Yeah.
and Eurosport cheated out of a superheat, so I'm happy.
Yup. Well, that's what we all really wanted, wasn't it?
What
Eurosport
Eurosport
to
cheated
not
out
get
of
a superheat. Yeah.
That's what everyone wants because we know it was introduced for TV. We know it complicates the table, but they don't give a fuck because it gives them an extra thing to complain about.
Yes.
Like,
But yeah.
Also, side note to any Bellevue fans crying in the comments. Hint, hint. Nick, happiness is 40-38. So shut up.
I mean, come on.
That's what they was used to say. 13 heat format, 2-point win, 40-38.
Yeah. True.
Probably another one for the cutting room floor, actually.
Oh, stop making my life harder.
I'm kidding.
Ugh.
But yeah, there's nothing to say to that meeting. I can't remember where Eurosport are next. I've got to stop hitting this microphone. I think you saw it early. I can't find it. Sheffield. Okay, that's not bad actually. Sheffield Ipswich will be an interesting meeting. Next up on Eurosport, if anyone subscribes to BSN, I buy the odd stream every now and again when I can afford one.
Yeah.
Yeah, British League up and running. We'll see how the coverage progresses over the season. The only oddity for me really is the British finals on a Saturday this year.
Yeah. So more
Interesting.
people can go, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think being at Bellevue doesn't necessarily help the crowds.
No.
But
Where else is it going to be though? Because it's arguably the most neutral track, and anybody can win it there.
yeah, it's an odd one because it was also the National Speedway Stadium. But I'm someone who lives like 3.5 hours away from Manchester by car. I would like to see it move every now and again.
Yeah.
Um,
Like every 2 or 3 seasons or so.
yeah. For me personally, it was all right when it was at Wolverhampton because it was nearby. Granted, I never went, but
I
it
think
was
I went like once.
Yeah, but Wolverhampton, Monmouth Green's a shit track.
It's
Or
not
was
there
a shit
anymore.
track.
We can't say that. There's no track anymore. We can't say that. We'll piss off Wolves fans.
Isn't that your whole shtick?
No. There's actually a fair few Wolves fans. I don't mind.
Yeah, well, the whole Eurosport coverage as well. It's there now. You know, you can't massively complain now. It's here. It looks like they're going for a meeting every sort of 2-3 weeks, which is reasonable.
Yeah.
I think, as with every year, though, the bigger test for Eurosport will be what do they do with a playoff fixture if it gets rained off?
Oh, yeah.
The last 2 seasons, in fact, every season since Eurosport taken over, there has been a rain-affected playoff meeting. They haven't covered the restaging fixture.
No.
And they've always sort of preferenced one event, which I think I said this last year. I can't remember if BSN did it. I don't think they did. But if Eurosport back out of broadcasting a playoff fixture because it's rain affected, it's been rescheduled, then BSN seriously need to consider swooping in, because that would be a massive market if that happens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Was it Tom was in the very close to making the SEC challenge, wasn't he, the other day?
What, sorry?
The European thing.
Oh, that, yeah.
He was in a challenge meeting for that. He lost in a runoff.
Yeah, to Bartek Kowalski.
Yeah.
I think he'd be proud he got that far.
Yeah. True.
Up against competition like that, he's not quite there. The European Championships, while it's a very minor competition in sort of like the public perception over the Grand Prix, it's very much overshadowed by the Grand Prix. Especially when you don't get riders like Smarslik, Wolfenden competing in it generally.
Yeah.
It's massively overshadowed, but it is a tough competition.
Fair enough.
It's not necessarily the best riders in Europe, but it is some of the best riders in Europe. So I think Brennan would have struggled in the SEC.
Yeah, but it would have been nice to see him give it a crack.
Yeah. It would have been, but maybe another sort of maybe 2-3 years he would be right up there, but not now.
I was going to say what's going on in the championship, but nothing at the moment because nobody.
It's only just started, really, hasn't it? They've been focusing on the BSN, the BSN League, the BSN Series, whatever they want to call it this week. They've been focusing on that lately, so
that's it. BSN Series.
I don't get this obsession in the championship with having 3 competitions.
I don't, but whatever.
Have the championship and the knockout cup.
Yeah. So for that, Berwick are top of their group.
I still want the Premiership Supporters Cup back, and I will fight anyone who disagrees.
Edinburgh second, Glasgow third, although Berwick have ridden 4 meetings and the other 2 have only ridden 2. Workington are top of their group. Scunthorpe are second and Redcar are third. Although then again, Redcar haven't had the best start to the season, have they? And then, to nobody's absolute shock, Poole are top of their group and Oxford are second. And Plymouth are third. To absolutely no one's surprise. Couldn't find my words then. Championship Knockout Cup. Let's have a look at the Knockout Cup.
I think that's kind of started up now.
Yeah. Scunthorpe won their 2 legs over 100 to 80 on aggregate. So the first one at Scunthorpe. Why are Scunthorpe and Plymouth together? I mean, that's a bit of a trek. That's
just how the draw goes, isn't it?
Yeah. The first leg of that, Scorpions won 61-29 at Scunthorpe. Second leg was 51-39 in favour of Plymouth. So Scunthorpe won that. Poole versus Edinburgh was 49-40 in favour of the Pirates. Glasgow and Oxford.
Oh, I forgot about this. Oxford knocked Glasgow out.
Oh, that was one of the trophies they won as well. No, wait, it was the cup that Scunthorpe won, wasn't it? Glasgow won the pairs in the league.
Yes, I think. I can't remember.
It was by a slim margin on aggregate, though. It was only 93-87.
Mm.
But, yeah.
But it's the Knockout Cup.
Yeah, true. Hang on. Oh, first round. Okay. All right. The second round was the quarterfinalists. The other quarterfinalists still going on. Berwick 54, Scunthorpe 36. The second leg to that is Friday, May 17th.
Some weight then.
Edinburgh versus Poole. The second leg of that is Friday, tomorrow. And then Workington versus Redcar. The second leg is Saturday.
Mm.
When was the first one? Redcar won that 51-38, but that was at Redcar. So Workington have got the second leg at home. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd touch on that for any viewers in the championship.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's, British League is up and running now very firmly.
Yes.
It seems like everything is going fairly smoothly, although now that I've said that, it'll probably stop very quickly.
Yeah, it's going to rain again.
Welcome to the
No,
UK.
I wouldn't put that past because it's the UK, so. Oh, yeah. Sam Hagan won the under-21 semi-final at Plymouth. I wouldn't put it past him to go and win the under-21 final, to be honest, up at Glasgow.
No?
No, I reckon he could win it.
Fair enough.
There's a couple of fixtures on. There's 3 fixtures on Bank Holiday Monday, and there's a fair few meetings on tomorrow and over the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Monday.
Yeah.
Oddly not one on Sunday.
Fixture.
Oddly not one on Sunday though.
Does anyone normally race on a Sunday? Leicester Cubs, maybe? I don't know.
No, I don't think has the National League started yet?
I think it starts in a couple of weeks.
Hang on. I looked. Just for any friends. Oh, it has started. Leicester have ridden 3 matches, 2 wins, 6 points. Oxford Chargers, 5 points. Scunthorpe Sheffield, 2 points in third. Bellevue Colts, 4th with no points. Middlesbrough 5th, no points. Edinburgh 6th, no points. Just for anybody that's interested in the National League. Is there anything going on around there? Other than the... yeah. I still don't know how Scunthorpe and Sheffield have managed to split a team.
I don't get that either.
But then again, who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah. Bit mad. But, that's it. Is that pretty much it? Have we covered everything?
Yeah, I believe so. Covering the 2 meetings.
Thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the next one. We've got our first guest of season 2 coming up very soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And we'll catch you guys in a bit. Laters.
You have been listening to episode 4 of Drop the Clutch Season 2, presented by Ruth Hannah and Frankie Sparks, recorded on the 2nd of May 2024 and edited by Ruth Hannah. This was a Drop the Clutch production.